akikubalira byonna bina byenjogedde ne bisingawo bisanga wali mu Rafik Building mu Kikuubo edduuka namba 3 ojja okubisanga oba mu supermarket nekuli kumpi oba mu dduuka lyonna enamba koba okubanga oba byetaaze eri 0772 425 23 0772 425 bwatu balabise owa Chapa General Enterprises. Well, Honorable Oneka Denis nsajja wa Kabaka nga bawulidde mukulu Sentamu Nenga is an MP from Kitgum Municipality. Yaliko great president ate n'akulira abayizi mu kaseera kawerako. Honorable, where you began, I liked it so much. You were telling us about what happened at that time when you were at the Mackay University as a guild president and the riots broke up. We can begin there.
Yeah, thank you. I was bringing on board the scenario of the 2009. In 2009, I remember one thing that happened, which is hard for me to forget about. That was the power of the Kabaka. In 2009, when our Kabaka was denied to go to Kayunga to visit his subjects, the riot that erupted in Kampala was unimaginable.
Yep.
I remember all roads were closed. You go to Bombo Road was closed, Masaka Road was closed, Entebbe Road was closed. Tires was being burned everywhere. Why? It was because the Kabaka was denied access to his subjects. Getting out of campus was tricky.
That time.
If you had to pass from the gate and enter outside and move out, they would ask you, is Tambula Muganda? Walk like a Muganda.
So for you were just walking like that?
So I could imagine, how can I walk like a Muganda? Tambula Muganda. So that one I've never forgotten.
Wow.
What do I mean here?
Yes.
I want first of all to congratulate the Kabaka. The Kabaka of Buganda is not merely for only Buganda.
Okay.
In my own understanding and analysis, the Kabaka served the entire cultural institutions.
Okay.
He is a representation of very many cultural institutions.
Okay.
He is a subordination of the bigger institution of culture in this country. I could even say in entire East Africa.
Okay.
He has followers, the Buganda that really listened to him. However, the only challenge that all of us felt bad about it was his sickness. Yeah, he fell sick some times ago. I believe he's recovering well now.
Yeah, true.
And we thank God for that.
Good.
What I like so much about the Kabaka is his love that cuts across, irrespective of the tribes. What I love about him so much is how his administration, his leadership, has made it so easy for many for other tribes across the country to have comfort in Kampala, in Buganda.
That's very important.
You can buy land anywhere. We bought land. You can stay anywhere. You can do business anywhere.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that some of us, the non-Baganders, we feel really happy about. About that. So on that note, I really want to congratulate him.
All right.
For having made 30 years on the throne. And I want also to reiterate that we were so impressed about his vocal presentation.
This time?
This time round. He spoke about things that really many people didn't expect.
Okay.
You know, talking about how the youth should embrace work.
Yeah.
Talking about
should not go do business outside the country. They should stay here and do
they
business.
should invest in the country.
Yes.
You know, it is quite important, really. In fact, he is a leader. He is a leader that has shown direction to many.
No selling land. Why should we sell our land?
Exactly. I always tell our people, like for us in Acholi land there, I've been telling many on the radio station that our land is the only permanent asset that we have. And land does not grow. It is the people that produce and multiply.
I like what you're saying, really.
So if you dispose of your land cheaply, how will you manage the future? So it is very important. When I listened to the message, I felt really, I wish I was there to attend. It was unfortunate that I did not attend
that function.
Yeah. But I promise the birthday celebration will get me there.
All right, as we go on, munafa tulaba nja kusaba nkweko ku bigambo by'empologoma olunaku lwa Monday wano mu lubiri lwa baffe yakwako ku bigambo byayogera ku olunaku. When we come back, my guest ajja kuba awunzika ku nsonga za empologoma nkankwe ku bigambo bye mu ddoboozi lye omuwulire nga bwe yabyogera olunaku olwa Monday n'obubaka bwe yatuwa munafa alaba Delta TV. Tukole
nga nabbe yakutuyingirira ne balwanyisa era abamu ne bafiirwa obulamu bwabwe. Abambejja, abataka, bannaddiini, abakungu, abasuubuzi, abaserikale n'abantu aba bulijjo.
Omutanda era yeebazizza abalwanyisa effuga bbi n'abataka abakuuma omwoyo gwa Buganda ogutafa okumala emyaka 27 ng'obwakabaka tebuliiwo oluvannyuma ne bakola enteekateeka y'okubukomyawo.
Abataka n'abakulu bonna abaakuuma omwoyo gwa Buganda ogutafa okumalira ddala emyaka 27 era oluvannyuma ne bakola enteekateeka zonna ez'okutikkira kabaka mu kiseera ekyo.
Omutanda agambye nti newankubadde obwakabaka bwaddawo naye tebwafuna buyinza wabula Buganda esobodde okwerwanako mu by'obulamu eby'obulimi n'ebyenfuna okutwaliza awamu.
Newankubadde ng'obwakabaka bwaddawo naye tebwafuna buyinza. Tewafuna buyinza okukola emirimu nga bwe bwakolanga edda okuviira ddala ku ntandikwa yaabwo. Okuva edda bajjajjaffe baalina omwoyo ogukolera awamu era nga batetenkanya nnyo. Omwoyo ogwo gwe gutuyambye okukolera awamu nga bajjajjaffe bwe baali.
Ensonga eno agikkattiriza nti kyekyo lwaki Buganda yettanira okugabana obuyinza mu nkola ya federo okusobola okukulaakulanya abantu.
Kino kiraga nti bingi bisoboka okukolebwa era kino kyoleka bulungi lwaki twettanira enfuga egabanya obuyinza abamu gye bayita federo.
Maasomogi ng'atudde ku Namulondo asibiridde abantu b'Entanda obutabongoota kuba waliwo abatabwagala.
Obwakabaka bwaddawo era tubwagala nnyo naye waliwo abatabwagala. N'olwekyo temubongoota.
Abavubuka mu Buganda kabaka abalabudde obuteetundako ttaka kubanga ly'essuubi lya Buganda ey'enkya.
Temuva mu byalo era temutunda ttaka lyammwe. Gumuikiriza n'okukola ennyo tujja kubayamba okubatuusaako enkulaakulana eyo yonna gye muli.
Era bakuutidde n'obutabuzaabuzibwa kutwalibwa bweru ku mirimu egitategerekeka egiviiriddeko n'abamu okuyisibwa ng'abaddu n'okufa kyokka nti Buganda ejja kwongera okufuba okubatuusaako enkulaakulana gye bali.
Temubuzaabuzibwa kutwalibwa kukola mirimu egitategerekeka. Kutwalibwa mu mirimu mu nsi ez'ebunaayira abantu baffe gye bayisibwa ng'abaddu era n'abamu ne bafiirayo. Abo ababatwala okukola ebweru tebalina kirungi kyonna kibabaagaliza.
Ku nsonga y'obuvubi Ssaabasajja Kabaka asabye wabeerewo ekikolebwa ku mulimu guno kuba abavubuka bangi mwe baali bajja ejjamba kyokka gwagootaana olw'okuyisibwa obubi ate nga baazaalibwa ku mbalama.
Era kino omulimu gw'obuvubi gugootaanye nnyo.
Zara Haman for that wonderful footage. Go to Adonako Ralero, a program bwetu yali nakubalirwa Monday. Honorable Oneka, Denis, there are like 2 or 3 or 4 things. Briefly, you could comment about. One is about we have been having problems with people on the lake. The army right now is in charge of saying that you should not go and there should be a way of should have order on the lake via fishing. But sometimes people say that people are mistreated on the lake. That's number one. Number two is about our young men and women who go out to search for jobs and they are mistreated. Slavery. And then about how should traditional be given the power to administer more power. Those 3 issues.
Let me begin with the last one. The traditional administration. I began by saying that I admire how Buganda Kingdom runs leadership. I was giving you a story of what took place in 2009.
Yes.
That period, for us in opposition in FDC, we were very happy. Because it has destabilized the government at that time. Seriously.
Yeah.
And some of us thought actually the government was going to be overthrown.
Okay.
By the power of the people.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming. I remember Kaiwara was the IGP. He collapsed.
Yeah.
He was rushed to, I think, Germany, the hospital. Then we had another story that even Museveni was rushed to hospital. The pressure was too much. So when you look at all those scenarios that surrounded 2009, it is an illustration of power.
Okay.
It is an illustration of good government.
Okay.
Because if the government is not good, definitely the people will not give you the power. I want to compare the contrast between Buganda Kingdom and other kingdoms
in Uganda.
My own, the Acholi. We have our road. Road is our Kabaka. In Acholi we call road. Here you call Kabaka. Now, Ruarachana does not have the power the Kabaka has. Why? It's because of so many things. Number one is because of the people themselves. Okay. Are the people willing to follow the leadership of their road, of their Kabaka?
Okay.
Is you, the road or the Kabaka, doing what the people want you to do?
Okay.
All those one bring power. And what do you have as an asset? Do you know power also comes around with responsibilities, with resources. Like when you look at Buganda, Buganda sits basically in the heart of Kampala. Actually, Kampala is Buganda entire, you know. The heart of Uganda, the capital city, is actually in Buganda. And Kampala alone has a population of about 1.5
million people?
% of the total population.
Okay, yeah, true.
Kampala alone.
Yeah.
1.5% of the total population. Now when you look at the greater Kampala, that has about 9 districts. That is Kampala, Wakisu, Mukono, Mitiana, Nansana, name them. If you add all that population, is huge. And look at the asset which is within the city. They are the one that actually boost the GDP of the country. Yep. The economy.
Yes.
It is a business center.
Yes.
Everything is done here. There was a day we joked when we were in for our meeting of the FDC. I told our NEC that I think Buganda is the one denying us change of government. Because if Buganda alone can decide that enough is enough, things will change. Because they have the power, first of all, they control the city.
Okay.
They control where administration takes place. Our parliament is within.
Within
I am in the constituency of my colleague Mohamed Sereko.
Yeah, of course. He's your MP.
He's my MP.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
When I go to Rubaga, I'm in the constituency of Kawalia.
Kawalia. Abubakar, no. Yeah.
You get it? So basically, when you talk about the power, I think the Kabaka has the power. However, there are other stubborn people who are being used to frustrate his leadership. They're also there. And those culprits are everywhere. They cut across. And secondly, there is also the system of divide and rule, which is used by the government.
Divide and
rule. Okay. One person wrote that the government is so smart. He breaks your legs, gives you a walking stick, then tells you, if it was not me, you are not going to walk.
But he has broken your leg.
Yeah, I'm giving you a walking stick. So there is a tendency of divide and rule. Currently, you'll find very many kingdoms, the kings, are being installed by Museveni's government. Very unfortunate. And most of them works only to fulfill the interest of the person who installed them. Little concentration comes on the people. Unlike Buganda, by the way. The Kabaka of Buganda is one person who is very straight. And that is why I believe it is the reason why he faced a lot of challenges in 2009.
Yes.
And that is why I believe he is continuing to face a lot of challenges.
Yes.
And that is why I believe he is continuing to have infiltration within the system of his ministers. They are there because they are being used to minimize his power. But above all, Buganda as such exhibit very high moral authority in what we call cultural institutional management, which moral authority lacks in very many institutions.
So you also believe that if at all the institution was given the power it wants
to strike,
there will be a lot of changes in the
absolutely
people's life.
Absolutely. I have got an opportunity to find out exactly what does the Buganda kingdom do to its subjects. I've realized they even pay school fees.
Yeah, true.
You cannot imagine.
Yeah, the bursary.
Very many people gets the bursary. I believe they offer even jobs opportunities.
True, that's very true.
I believe they support developmental plans.
Yeah,
they can give out land to a particular investor to do certain things. Leave alone this small, of course, contribution that goes to the kingdom.
The king launched houses, small project houses for people in Wakiso, over 100.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
So if the Buganda was given that freedom, I am confident, I'm very sure that there would be a big change.
Wow.
Very big change here. But because, you know, the power that be, Museveni is such a man that would not love to have a person who can compete for power. I know that is one reason why you will see the power balance is, you know, of course, it is clear when you look at the current election, the last election, we went through. Even we FDC lost here. We only got Lukwago for mayor. We got Semuju
in Echira.
In Chira. We got Sibambi in Maogola, south. We lost about 2 positions. Why? And NRM actually were flown down badly. At least that one happened simply because of the Buganda factor.
So, Honorable, this message from the Kabaka, do you think it was going to the government of Uganda?
To me, I feel the message actually goes to 2 people, 2 sections. Number one is to the government of Uganda, to allow him to do his leadership.
Okay.
You remember the question for federalism earlier on came.
Yes.
Before. I believe it is still lingering around.
It's there.
Betty Kamia tried to push it, though also she lost the control and joined the other side. So that power, I think the Kabaka needs his own power fully to be given to him. However, you know, also, it's going to be a bit tricky when it's being guarded again by the regime, by the state. They're giving him soldiers and giving him that. It is not going to be easy for him to have his secrecy.
Okay.
Because those ones are paid by the regime.
By the government.
By the people who not want to give him excess power.
Okay.
They want to minimize a lot.
All right.
So that message goes, number one, to the government, to allow not to interfere with the management of the cultural institution. And by the way, he did not only speak for himself, in my own understanding. He spoke for the entire cultural institution in this country. Look at Busoga. Okay. How the king of Busoga was installed. Yeah. The confusion that is there up to now. Look at the controversy we have now in Acholi. Eh? So our road,
the message is cutting across.
Cuts across. Our road plus other cultural chiefdoms within Acholi, they have actually impeached him almost.
I get you.
You get the problem.
I get you.
Now, if you look around, you see what is causing all that confusion. There is a third hand, invisible hand, doing that.
That is somewhere
to destabilize. When you look at how our land is now getting finished, there is a clique, we call them the Balalos, in that side. Now, the system is simple. Disorganize the institution, horn them, let them not talk about how you grab their land, then you manage them. I'm not afraid to say Buganda is almost getting out of land. There are sections, if you go to Matuga, that side of from Kawempe Tula going to Matuga, that side, it is almost a region of the Banyarwanda. They are that side. Now when you come around here, this side of, there's actually quarters, there's what? Of course, land is getting finished. But if it is indigenous, to me, I have no problem. And if those who are coming from another country are coming, let them have respect. For the Kabaka, for the Buganda.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's our landlord.
I get you, I get you. So,
and that should apply to all other traditional heads. You could imagine why doesn't Ankole get their king? Why doesn't that side, you know? Then you clearly see that the king is one. You other one, listen here.
Honorable. All right, before you go for a commercial break, this issue of our young men and women, because whenever I go to Entebbe Airport, I really feel so bad when I see our young men lined up every day, every minute. They are going to search for jobs outside the country. I don't know if you feel, I don't know you in Parliament, how you handle, how you see it, but some of us feel that it's like we don't have anything to do here. What is your take on that?
On the 20th of May, when I was traveling to Beijing in China, when we landed at Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, one lady who knew me ran and grabbed me, crying.
At the airport?
At the airport. Ran and grabbed me, crying seriously. Was telling me how she is being mistreated, how she escaped, and she's now coming back to Uganda, asking for help. We were two MPs. It was me and my brother Kawale Abubakar, the MP for
Rubaga North.
Yeah. So I felt so sympathetic on the young girl. Now that is just one person. As members of Parliament, we get a lot of phone calls across the country from these other sides, the Kuwait, the where they go for, you call them Cheyo?
Yes. For work or Cheyo, whatever.
They are beaten. Some of them are mistreated. Some of them are beaten. Some of them are given no time to rest. And yet, the salary they are always promised when they're still in Uganda, that if you come here, we shall give you 2.5 million per month. The moment they reach there, either they're not given money for about 6 months, with a lie that your money is being banked in your account, and yet that money goes to their agent. The people connect them from here to to go to those places to work. At the end of the day, if someone worked for about 1 year, wants to get home, he's paid for about 6 months. And the 6 months is not calculated on the 2.5 promised payment. At time is on 1 million. Someone comes with 6 billion at home, has wasted the entire 1 year or 2 years. Now, that one is for those who survive to come back. There are those
who don't survive.
There are those who don't survive. When their kidney has been destroyed. Others, their kidney and their heart has been removed. Others, you know, a lot of mistreatment.
How should we create jobs here?
Now, all those one comes because of the lack of jobs in this country. And lack of job comes basically because the government seems not so much bothered about looking after the young people. Unfortunately, Uganda is a country of the young people. The highest population, the majority ranges from about 16 years. The majority in the world, about 16 years, the highest population. So a country like Uganda should have actually invested a lot on issues of employment. Now, there are two categories of employment.
As we go for short.
There is self-employment and there is these other white-collar jobs. Self-employment and white-collar jobs. I'll explain after.
Well, muna matula bachadina Honorable Oneka Denis Amere, msajja wa Kabaka omulidde Centum wali wano MP okuva Kitugu Municipality tuli ku bikoza Mariam Week tumaze ensonga ya bene myaka 3. When we come back tujina ensonga ejja kukwata ku roadmap eya akulonda kwa president MPs n'abakulu abalala Electoral Commission ensonga ya FDC kyaliyo ensonga ya police report ekyaliyo ensonga y'abantu bafa abafudde 20 abafudde ku nnyanja ekyaliyo ensonga ya parish development model. Desta TV tukole.
Okyala bagoloka tukole ng'akutuusibwako.
Salawo olwaleero ofune motor comprehensive insurance. Akasente akatono k'onaaba okozesezza kajja kuwa emirembe.
Funa comprehensive insurance olwaleero okuva mu kampuni za insurance ezaweebwa olukusa oba genda ku website yaffe ku ira.go.ug.
Eno ye Delta TV tukole.
You know I got something for you. Spread it on your bread and it can make you grow stronger. Okay, stronger can make you stronger. Prestige stronger can make you stronger. Prestige margarine. You gotta spread it, taste it, love it. Prestige margarine is good for everyone. When you eat it, it makes your body grow strong and healthy. So always spread it, taste it, and love it. Prestige margarine.
Delta TV tukole kanyomero kafetula tuyige nange musajja Kabaka Lusiba. Olwaleero nzize n'ekigambo nga bitalo. Mu lulimi Oluganda bwe tufiirwa ekiramuso ekibeera awali okukungubaga kiba kimu nti nga kitalo. Era mu nkola engunjufu bw'ogenda we bafiiriddwa n'ogamba eradde nnyo muli mutya kiba kikyamu era oli akulaba nga gwe akudaala. Bwe tutuuka tutandika n'ekigambo nga kitalo. Wabula abamu bagamba nga bitalo ekyo kikyamu. Bw'ogamba abafiiriddwa nti nga bitalo obanga ategeeza nti waliwo abantu nga 6 baafudde omulundi gumu. Naye singa oba ogenza awantu okugeza abantu baafiiridde mu njega nga baaluganda nga waliwo emirambo nga 6 osobola okubagamba nti nga bitalo. Naye bwe tugenda mu kukungubaga nga muntu omu oba ssemaka oba nannyinimu nga ye yafudde, ekigambo ekituufu tugamba nga kitalo. Olwo n'olyoka obabuuzaako nti mutya nno. Ebyo byonna wano mu kanyomero kaffe tuula tuyige ku Delta TV nange musajja Kabaka Lusiba.
okwekolerera lisanyu yenkyukakyuka mu bulamu bwo n'essuubi. Delta tukole.
Mu Delta tukole ey'olwaleero nange Trisha nkuletedde omwami Kalaba Hamisi nga ye ayokya nnyama. Agenda kuba atuwulira ebirungi byafunye mu bizinensi ye eno ate era akubirize omuntu yenna ali eyo okubeera nga okola nnyo n'obutanyoma mirimu.
Manya nze Kalaba Hamisi nga nkola wano wabweru wa Smart City Bazaar nga ntunda nnyama. Nkubiriza abavubuka bannange mwena abali eyo mutandika okukola emirimu kubanga okola kulungi. Okyatandikawo natandika okusevinga ate kyenali sikola nga nkyatudde ewaka. Atandika okukola ntandika okusevinga kati bingi byenfunyeyo mu nnyama muneeno. Nfunye emikwano ate ofuna n'okumanyika kunyikiriza bavubuka bannange mwena mujje mutandika okukola. Delta TV tukole.
Okwekolerera lisanyu yenkyukakyuka mu bulamu bwo n'essuubi. Delta tukole.
Kano kanyoolagano kennyini kavunkano abasajja n'abakazi emitwe gibatulika bwetuli anti obwongo bwesera mu programu awakula ennume wano ku Delta TV. Kati gweyekakisa okumanya gye nvudde w'ensi eno omanyi byabuwangwa oba oyigangera nsongi bikokyo nakasigirwa endazi jangu naawe bakunyumyeko mu byafaayo nti naye wali naggwano atawunyikamu nga weewandiisa wano ku Delta TV wetabe butereevu mu programu awakula ennume. Okwetaba mu awakula ennume tekusosola mu kikula kyo oba mu myaka omukadde omuvubuka omwana omuto na yenna yeekakasa obwongo okutokota duka weewandiise n'emitwalo 2 gyokka ku ofisa Delta TV ku kizimbe kya Muganzirwazza Katwe omwaliro ogwokubiri okumanya ebisingawo kuba noti 7 noti 3 noti 99 noti 3 oba noti 784 781 4 awakula ennume wano ku Delta TV tukole.
Eno ye Delta TV tukole. Goloko katukole akutuusi wako.
Salawo olwaleero ofune moto comprehensive insurance. Akasente aka katono kunaaba okozesezza kajja kuwa emirembe.
Funa comprehensive insurance olwaleero okuva mu kampuni za insurance ezaweebwa olukusa oba genda ku website yaffe ku ira.go.ug.
Nabe yayongedde mu kibiina ki FDC olwamukwakula abatwala ku lukiiko lwa Oneka okuvayo ne balangira nga batakkirizigana kulonda okuzza okukolebwa mu kibiina kyabwe gye buvuddeko. Bano nga bakulembeddwa omwogezi w'ekibiina kino Ibrahim Ssemujjuŋŋanda bagamba nti okulonda kwonna okubadde mu kibiina kyabwe kufuwe pufululufu.
Muwulidde okuva ku bakulembeze b'e FDC okuva mu bitundu byonna tetunnabaayo na kulonda kubanga akakiiko ak'okuntiko aka FDC akayitibwa National Executive Committee bwe kaatuula ng'ennaku z'omwezi 16 kayimiriza okulonda okutuusa nga ensonga ezitawaanya FDC omuli ne ssente Nandala ne Amuriat ze baleeta billions ne bazireeta mu kibiina wakati mu kulonda kwa 2022-2021.
Ssemujju agamba nti kimalamu amaanyi okulaba nga abantu bonna be bagamba nti balonze tebakozesezza nkaala nga kale byonna bye bakoze byabadde bifu.
Mu FDC okulonda n'okwetaba mu kulonda ng'oyagala kwesimba oteeka okubeera ng'olina kaadi y'ekibiina ng'omaze okusasula ssente eza buli mwaka. Nandala kaadi yaziremera yazitwalanga mu bubba n'awaako balowooza nti bamuwagira. Kaakati nga bammemba tobakkiriza kubawandiika tolina register tebalina kaadi n'oga nti aka tugende tulonde.
Ono era ategeezezza nga kakyooka ebyokunda mu FDC akakula matotebuka bamwenda bwe kasaanye okulekulira olwo basobole okulonda akakiiko akalala akanategeka okulonda okw'obwenkanya.
Nga FDC tenagenda kuddamu kuteekateeka kulonda akakiiko ka toterebuka bamwenda kano kalina okugibwawo tuteekewo akakiiko akatali mu kyekubiira ate nga n'emirimu kagisobola. Ekyokubiri tuteeka okufulumya kalenda empya egy'okubeerayo n'okulonda nga kutandikira ku byalo nga buli lunaku okulonda bwe kubeera.
Babaka ba Parliament aba FDC wamu n'omulodi wa Kampala Ssaalongo Erias Lukwago bagamba nti bakukola kyonna ekisoboka okulaba ng'ekibiina kyabwe tekitwalibwa abantu ba lubato.
Can't allow that to happen under our nose in the party. We are fighting that vice at a national level. It cannot happen in our party. So that's why we are denouncing all exercises being conducted by a one-man's rule. The one-man's rule we are challenging at a national level. It's a one-man's rule we are having in the party and totally unacceptable.
You just can't go to district and say, I am going to organize the election if they don't want. So we shall do whatever is humanly possible to make sure that Museveni can only take over Poa, Nandara, and their cohorts, and not the FDC party. I want to thank you very much.
The FDC members that I know cannot be beaten and silenced and on gunpoint start supporting Nandala and Poa. The FDC members that I know are not going to give up on democracy.
Bano kati basaba bannakibiina bannabo butageza okwetantala kwenyigira mu kalulu nga kati kimanyiddwa diro zinaakomekkerezebwa. Haruna Luwangula, Delta TV, Amasokulumu.
Wabala nnyo Haruna Luwangula kubanga tuwadde emboozi eyo ate n'ogisaka ate n'ogisala bulungi nnyo nnyinira. Wabala nnyo baddira bati balabise kozi munnaffe wano Haruna obanga tuwadde emboozi bwetu betambula olunaku lwaleero eyabadde ku lukiiko lwa press conference ya FDC. Tujja kugenda ku mboozi eyo tujja okuddako after nkulu ng'amaliriza kabadde atandise omugenyi waffe olunaku lwaleero. But for that bannaffe ate era katubajjeyo bannaffe abaddembe distributors ku Entebbe Road nabo katubajjeyo kuba nabo bakulu nnyo nnyini ddala ate nabo bateekamu ssente. Abaddembe distributors wali ku Entebbe Road tuyina amata ga Fresh Diary ebika byonna mu yogurt owa Fresh Diary mu flavors zonna omuli strawberry omuli vanilla omuli chocolate n'ebirala bingi. Tuyina Brookside yogurt bwamu ne juice wa Teju. Kale tugamba nti baffe abaki abaddembe distributors wano ku Entebbe Road jangu otuguleko byonna betukugambye. Abadde ambuuza nti tukusangibwawa biki wano najja Nankumbi opposite Kenjo supermarket ojja kubalaba munaffe edduuka lyaffe gagadde eriko ekigambo ekigamba nti Dembe distributors. Ate ne wali ekajjansi ku paaka wetulifa abaddembe mpozi ne Entebbe mu Kitoolo ojja kuba tusanga fe abaddembe. Ennamba yesimu tulina bbiri zokka esooka eri 0 709 582 008 nga bwolengera munaffe ennamba ziza ku screen zakutuuseko dda. Ennamba y'okubiri ya Dembe distributors eri 0702 744 26 okitegete Dembe distributors tukulinze munaffe tukole business naawe sobola kubanga ofuna kiweetaaze mu nsonga ezikwata ku flavors Fresh Diary flavors zonna omuli strawberry vanilla chocolate n'ebirala bingi binza okuba nti ofuna. Okay, well, Honorable Oneka Denis Amere okuva Kitgum akikirira abantu b'Ekitgum Parliament yaffe ya Uganda waali wano mu nsonga ezigamba nti ezikoze amawulire mu week eya FDC yeddako. But before that, there's something that you were actually talking about our young women and men who are going out. You were giving us a solution about that.
Yeah, I was talking about issues of employment.
Yeah.
In order to reduce the population that goes out of this country looking for job opportunity. On every day, it is estimated that Ugandans that live in Uganda going to other countries in search for jobs are 500 now. Every day.
Every day, 500.
500 people leave the country.
Wow.
While others are being deported, others are coming in coffin, others are coming alive. But 500 every day people leave Uganda. Now, this one is a very big challenge to us, the leaders. At Parliament, we had wanted to bring what we call the minimum wage bill.
Okay.
A minimum wage bill that set a standard of how much a person should be paid, the minimum amount of money. For example, if you're a TV presenter, what is the minimum amount of money that a TV presenter should earn? Is it 10 million? If it is 10 million, then no TV. station should pay any
below
person below that.
10. Yeah.
Can be 10 or above. So that is an example. Now, we had wanted to put that, but again, when you look at the economy of Uganda, the economy is so down. In fact, Uganda is surviving a lot on debts, borrowing. We have reached a level whereby we at times borrow even for paying salaries, when things are so tight. Now, such a country, you cannot rush into a minimum wage bill. You will collapse very many sectors. Investors will run away. And yet they are manipulating the citizens of this country. That's a big challenge. You find someone who is working very well in a big institution is being paid 150,000 shillings. A security guard is given 180,000.
It's a big problem.
And 180,000 includes his rent, feeding for his family, his transport to go to work, and rent alone, you'll find rent is about 100,000. Now, the cost of living does not actually rhyme with the amount of money people earn. Someone posted a cartoon whereby we said, "You salary, you are not growing, but other people has now grown." Rent is high.
People are growing. Rent is growing.
But the salary has not grown. So that one calls for a lot of mess in the country. In fact, the source of crime in Uganda cropped up from lack of payment. Why rich people cannot sleep? Because they're scared of the poor people who wants to share what they have in the name of stealing. It is because of lack of uniform distribution of resources, because of lack of employment opportunities. I was talking about the kind of jobs that the country would look at. In Uganda, Uganda is a country that majorly deals in agriculture. We say agriculture is our backbone. 75% of Ugandans, at least, earns their living through agriculture.
Directly
and
or
according
indirectly?
to the Mafuta Mingi Declaration, where the heads of states of Africa sat in 2009, and that was a recap of the 1994 Mafuta Mingi Declaration. They declared that every country should not give less than 16% of the total budget of their country. They should give 16% and above on agriculture. Here comes Uganda. Here comes Uganda that has a population of about 75% that lies on agriculture and gives less than 4.5% instead of 16%. That's terrible. It's a big issue. We have big chunk of land across the country, very fertile land. Come to northern Uganda, come to east, come to part of the central. Vast land, very fertile land, but we cannot utilize them. And that is why our youth has resorted to selling land. That Kabaka has been the rebuke. Someone goes and sells 5 acres of land, an acre of land at 1.5 million. Then picks that money, 6 million, goes and buy a motorcycle.
Comes to town.
Comes to Kampala, is not trained. Gets an accident, dies. And again, the same remaining land is sold to generate money to bury him. That's how land is going. Why? Because our government is not planning well for that.
What have you done, you as leaders, to solve that problem of our young men and women going out of the country to search for jobs?
We have been advocating a lot on budget change, on cutting of wastages. When you look at the amount of money being corrupted in this country vis-a-vis what is allocated for real sectors that can bring progress, the disparity is too high. So we are trying to say that invest more in agriculture, put much money there. Remove taxes on farm tools.
True.
Give oxen and ox flowers to every household. I will talk about the PDM. PDM is a big mess, total miscalculation. You cannot say, anyway.
We shall come to that one.
The entire thing is the government needs to prioritize its citizens. There are few things that runs a country, that makes a country runs well. Number one is food.
Because it's a must. People must
A hungry person is a hungry person.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
You cannot talk to a person who is hungry.
No.
It's dangerous.
He
So
can't
number
work.
one is food,
Yeah.
health,
Yeah.
and education.
Yes.
If you cannot prioritize that,
Health, education.
and now food is not there. Hunger in Karamoja. Hunger will soon come here. You remember during COVID-19. In COVID-19, I realized which section is a real job and which section actually has no job. We were at home. The other people were working, but most people were at home. People were dying of hunger inside. Kampala attempted to be given some relief food per household, some few 5 kilos of portion and
beans.
3 kilos of beans. What does that do? That is a 2 days food.
Of course not. Okay, well, Honorable.
So we need to strengthen the part of self-employment.
Okay.
And also boost up the budget of things like agriculture and remove certain taxations that denies people to create what you call self-jobs. At the moment, everything is being taxed. The traders in Kampala are about to strike. We have got the information.
Yeah, true.
I sit on PAC committee, Public Accounts Committee, and Presidential Affairs. We have received a lot of things. We have just received petitions from taxis of Kampala, taxis operators. They're about to strike. So there are a lot of issues that we need to streamline.
Oh, well, I think you've given us a very good word. As we move on, okay, away from that, this week, last week, Honorable, it was, I think, a Friday, there was a very big meeting here. You know, Najana Kumbi is near here.
That is our head office.
Yeah. There was a big meeting, and then it was attended by members of FDC. But what we got from there, what we got from there is that a report from the elders, them talking about the two, I'll call them functions. Coming together, sorting issues, and all that. But yesterday, like we've seen just there, we saw Honorable Semjunganda, Honorable the Road Mayor, Honorable Munyagwa, Honorable and many others we saw there, Sarama Musumba and many others, Honorable. Talking about 3 issues. One, if they are to go on, the Electoral Commission of FDC should, is it resign or should?
Step aside.
Step aside. That's number 1. Number 2, them talking about Engineer Patu Kameto Boy and also Honorable Nandana Mafavi stepping aside. And then them talking about, it's like FDC doesn't have, because if you're talking about people going to the polls, they must have, so and so is a member, so and so is a member, so and so is a member. It's not there. How are you going to solve these issues of FDC? You as a member and also member of parliament, member in the parliament.
My brother Noah, first of all, my heart bleeds.
It must be.
My heart bleeds when I talk about FDC.
It must be.
FDC is the only political party with a national outlook.
Only political party?
The only one.
National. What do you mean by national outlook? Like,
can be found in all villages in the country.
It's okay. Namu Uganda. Okay.
Unlike NRM, that claims also to have a national outlook, but theirs is a bought membership. They buy membership. Their membership are always there because they want to survive.
Okay.
Survival
Okay.
membership.
Okay.
But FDC has very honest followers across the country to the village. Even in Kampala, we used to be very many. The emergency of Loop, which to me is a product of FDC.
Okay.
Loop has taken the Buganda fully.
Okay. Loop took DP, took also FDC.
Yeah, FDC, and you get it. Now, my heart bleeds simply because FDC is a party that nurtured most of us. As for myself, from the onset, from 2005 to 6, I've been in FDC. Reform agenda up to now. I've been in FDC. All my political trend moved through FDC tickets. I was the second guild president who stood and won election on FDC ticket at Makerere University. The first person was Gerard Karwanga in 2006 to 7.
You are the second.
I'm the second one.
Okay, okay.
211.
Okay.
212.
Okay.
The third person was Anna Deke, the current woman MP for Soroti.
And all of you have been MPs. That's very good.
Then the third person,
the fourth?
The fourth. The fourth was supposed to be Bala, but Bala again went for independent somehow. Now I would say it is Katopao, who is now the PA to the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Taiva.
Yes. Yes.
And Thomas Taiva is also a product of FDC.
Yeah, true.
The Deputy Speaker.
Yeah,
and
true.
the Speaker of Parliament is also a product of FDC. All of them.
Of course. Of course.
So I rose from FDC party as a guild president of FDC ticket, as a national UNSA president of Uganda, the president of all students. My office was Ministry of Education and Sport. FDC ticket. And I remember Parliament, FDC ticket. Therefore, with that kind of track record, if I look at what is happening, the other time I was actually on TV talking about the same thing. I feel bad, the confusion coming up. Now, when you ask me, what is bringing this confusion? About two things.
Money?
Number one is the unclean money. Okay. The dirty money that entered the party during election time. 2020, 2021 period, election. That now came out. And that has brought a very bad image on the part of FDC. So number one confusion that we are dealing with now is we want to know the source of that money. How did it come?
Why do you ask right now? Because it came 2 years back.
It came before.
3 years back.
It came before. Basically, you talked about it before.
Okay, well, a very short commercial break. When we come back, we begin exactly the unclean money. Munafatulaba tujja kumulamu katono tukoma munafatulaba jja kuba tutandikira awo ne tukomye mukulu ajatubulira mu konti obuzibu bwe bwajja mu kibiina kya FDC. Tukomawo.
okyala bagoloka tukole ng'akutuusibwako.
Salawo olwaleero ofune moto comprehensive insurance. Akasente aka katono konaaba okozesezza kajja kuwa emirembe.
Funa comprehensive insurance olwaleero okuva mu kampuni za insurance ezaweebwa olukusa oba genda ku website yaffe ku ira.go.ug.
Eno ye Delta TV tukole.
Abantu bangi batandise bizinesi z'okutunda ettaka naye Ntovu Estates bali mu kiti kirala nnyo. Balina estates mu bitundu eby'enjawulo ku miwendo emirungi ate nga n'ekyapa kyo okifunirawo. Bakkiriza n'ekibanja mpola. Basangibwa mu maka gaabwe ku Nansana Business Center okuliraana poliisi. Essimu 0722 oba ku 0704 ate gw'ayagala edduuka oba office beeyune ku Nansana Business Center. Anti balinako amaduuka ne office ku miwendo emirungi kwe kuli ne sauna, steam bath, massage, gym kw'ossa n'ekifo awakolebwa emikolo. Ate gwe yeetaze emmotoka ez'okupangisa beekwate. Anti balinawo emmotoka entono n'ennene. Ate gwe omuzadde ayagaliza omwana we ebyenjigiriza ebituukana n'omutindo balina n'essomero Ntovu Junior School ewamala eryegulidde erinnya mu kuyisa abaana obulungi, okubalabirira, okubaliisa n'okubakuuma. Essimu 0322 080 950 oba 0759 337 577.
Hey friends, you know I got something for you. Spread it on your bread and it can make you grow stronger. Okay, stronger, can make you stronger. Prestige, stronger, can make you stronger. Prestige margarine. You gotta spread it, taste it, love it. Prestige margarine is good for everyone. When you eat it, it makes your body grow strong and healthy. So always spread it, taste it, and love it. Prestige margarine.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Amina Obamwite Musawo Amina from Hashim Skincare and Herbal Solutions, New Tax Park opposite Petro Makai Road, room number 264A. Twina manpower phone ali permanent atenga ali instant. Atuyambako chi atuyamba ogogole emisuwa gyaffe n'okubanga emisuwa giri purely clean. Then to those who have ever used on masturbation, twina package yammwe emu kubako package ekuyamba okurebuilding up emisuwa egyo gyoba affecting when you were using the masturbation process. Nabagamba I'm a qualified musawo who treats every kind of damage. Abakyala tulina breast farming, tuli Kampala ku park empya Makai Road opposite amafuta ga petrol. Osobola tukubira ku 0755 96 21 29 oba n'okuba ku 0776 357 oba ku 0740 959147.
Omwami wafe mulungi kati osobola okugoberera pulogulaamu zaffe butereevu ku mukutu gwa YouTube. Genda ku YouTube oteekemu Delta TV tukole olwonyumire movies ez'akabi basereebubo bannabyabufuzi ab'emizannyo ebya bizinensi ebikuzzaamu ensumbi n'ebirala. Subscribinga ku channel yaffe era onyigaagade olwobere ng'ofuna obubaka buli kiseera. Delta TV tukole. Oteekateeka kuzimba makaago njuza abapangisa anti ki? Delta TV ekuletedde program Zimba naffe ne Focus Construction Company mwe tugenda okusomeseza saako n'okulaga entandika y'okuzimba ennyumba ate kasente akatono.
Era tugenda balambuza tubalage materials zeetaagisa
okutandikira ddala ku musingi. Ne bannaffe aba Focus Construction kati tosubwa buli Lwakutaano ssaawa emu n'ekitundu ez'ekawungeezi mu program Zimba naffe ne Focus Construction Company wano ku Delta TV tukole. Eno ye Delta TV tukole. Goloko katukole akutuusi wako.
Salawo olwaleero ofune motor comprehensive insurance. Akasente akakatono konaaba okozesezza kajja kuwa emirembe.
Funa comprehensive insurance olwaleero okuva mu kampuni za insurance ezaweebwa olukusa oba genda ku website yaffe ku ira.go.ug.
Okubanga tukyali ffenna munafatula bano ku Delta TV tukole ekyalinaku olwaleero munafatula batugamba nti gyebujjakaawo omwenda ekikandiza nga abiri jja kuba munafatula oyingako bano bosobodde obeeko essimu gy'okuba oteese ate era mu nsonga tubule gwe naawe ki ekikoledde amawulire mu wiiki eno enamba y'essimu gy'okubozera ku screen as we move on mpola mpola. Well, Honorable Oneka Denis amerere waali ensonga ezikoza amawulire mu wiiki MP Ketigo Municipality wali ku nsonga tumaliza nsonga ya FDC then tugere ku nsonga abantu bafe abafudde Nyanja Nalubaale tujja kuwunzika n'ensonga ya PDM briefly then tugere ku masimu gaffe how we call it today. Well, Honorable, we have like 3 issues briefly because of time. I want to finish the issue of FDC briefly, then we'll go to the issue of people who died on like Victoria, and then we shall end with the PDM. You were talking about telling us about where the problem is and then what's the solution?
Yeah, thank you. The problem basically, what we are grumbling with now is about the issues of the dirty money, the issues of election.
Okay.
Now, what the select committee came out with, the report was brought about the investigation into the dirty money issue was brought, and the report basically talks about reconciliation.
Yep.
The report talks about harmonization of the party,
yep.
Which is actually important. However, what Amuriat and Nandala ought to have done was, first of all, to come down low to the party member and say, sorry, if there is a mistake, let's talk in-house. Let us forgive each other. We talk in-house. This and this happened. We regret about it. Or this and this was about to happen but did not happen the way you're saying. And that would make more sense. So that issue is the one causing controversies. That is why you hear people are saying faction. That there's a Katonga faction, there's Najana Kumi faction, which is not the case. The Katonga operation is activism, where Dr. Besigye is. The Katonga was founded in the year 2012, when Dr. Besigye resigned from the position of party president and opted for activism that cuts across to every change-seeking forces would join him and do that.
Not only FDC, but anybody can join.
Exactly. And the operation of Katonga was sanctioned by us, the neck of FDC, that let Katonga be there to push for activism. And as Naja Nakumi the headquarters of FDC would be pushing for administrative angle and election processes. That was how it is put. So I don't believe that anybody will say there are two factions, there are competing factions. There are no factions. There are two bodies who are asking. One is administration, the Nandala and the party president, Muriat, who wants to go on with election, which is not yet well organized. Historically, for us FDC to go into election, few things must take place first.
Number one?
Number one, new party card must be issued to new members.
Okay.
So new members need to
hasn't
be
been done?
recruited.
Okay.
For the last 5 years, we have not done recruitment for the party. There are very many people who want to cross from NRM and come to FDC. There are new people who want to join the party. They have been independent. So we first want those people to join the party, to get the masses on board, to organize our party, to bring those who had different opinions during the past election, and when independent, they want to come back, we want to bring them back. So that is the essence why party cards was needed. It's actually
before
needed.
election.
Before election. Secondly, before election takes place in FDC, always we go for a general mobilization.
You move all over the country.
Yes. As members of parliament, we would be assigned that you, Oneka Lit, from Acholi land, look at these 3 districts. Is Acholi.
Okay.
That is Kidgum, Lamore, Pade, Agago.
Okay.
Mobilize
Mobilize.
your people. You, Megobeta Holochan, look at West Acholi. That is Gulu, Amoro, Noya, and Omoro.
Mobilize.
Eh? Look at that, mobilize. So that hasn't taken place. So we were saying, let the election be free and fair, not the way it was happening. So those are the two things causing confusion in FDC.
Okay.
And of course, I am among the people who are saying the election should not take place before organization is done in the party.
But we have seen people being elected recently.
And that is why we are saying that should be cancelled. That should be null and void. Fresh elections
Even
should
the
take
commission in the party should sit aside.
The Electoral Commission, the Bamwendas, has proven to be not only incompetent of controlling the squabbles within the party, but also biased on the side of the few who are saying elections should occur. By the way, for the last 1 week, election has been ongoing. And less than 40% of the total districts in Uganda has participated. Why? Because people are saying, let us first organize our house. Let's harmonize the house.
Before we go into it.
Yes. Before we go for election. So that is the issue that need to first be handled. If it is streamlined, then we can proceed to election.
Before we move out from FDC briefly, is it true that some people believe that it is a struggle for powerful places? Like somebody wants to be party president, the other wants to be secretary general, and the two or the pop have failed to agree. Is it there?
Definitely, in any election processes, you'll get that confusion. We are going towards our national delegate conference.
Okay.
The national delegate conference, which is by roadmap, is supposed to do election on November of this year. About 2 months from now, 3 months from now. Now, my brother Noah, you cannot front yourself to run for any position if you don't trust the person conducting the election. If you don't trust the people who are coming to vote you. If you don't know who the delegates are. If the delegates are not being elected,
of course,
transparent, of course, then you will know the other section are putting their own delegates who will come and vote for them, and definitely you will lose. Nobody fronts himself for any elective position if you are sure of losing.
Okay.
So, I cannot deny that part of the confusion which is coming is simply because of retaining the current position
or getting
new members. It is also there. But above all, some of us, whether we have position in the party or not, we are looking for the party to move forward, to be on straight line. Mind you, I am the current Deputy Secretary for Trade and Industry of FDC. I sit at NAC, by the virtue of being a NAC member. And I have even interest to contest in the coming election.
Okay, which is okay.
And if I see what is coming might not favor some of us, then why would I go in for it? I may not go in for it.
I get you.
And that is a cry. So I cannot dispute the fact that part of the reason why there is this confusion of election is because of some section trying to maneuver their way to be smart against other people. Some of us have lost interest of contesting, but you want the party to be intact.
Okay.
We have elective position we are serving.
I think
there's no problem.
Thank you very much, Honorable. You've made it very clear for us. Muna fatulaba ensonga za FDC kasoka tukomya kubanga tulina obudde butono nnyo nnyini ddala tutambuleko tugende ku nsonga ate ekwata ku nkulu nnyo yabaddewo naku lw'eggulu abantu baffe over 25 people basobola okuba nti baafudde ku nyanja lyato bakita kinaala batugamba nti kyavudde ku kizinga kigenda kukola Kasenyi site nekigwamu batugamba the one reason, two reason, three reason. Ekisooka kyetise Amanda, kyetise Mukene, kyetise mmere n'abantu abasukka 34. As we talk right now, report gitufuna okusinziira ku police egamba nti no abantu abayinza okuba nga baafudde basukka 20 wadde nga 9 basobodde okuba nga bawona ate n'abalala nga bana bakyabuze. But the problem is when you talk about some MPs from Kalangala and bagamba nti ebizubiri nti no omusolo oguli ku life jackets gujibwewo. Honorable,
olunaku lw'eggwero lyati lyabadde
was also like see those pictures out there. It's been a very big problem. First and foremost, tax people say that when you look at, there are very many problems on the lake. Overload is the problem. Having charcoal, having fish, having people, having food. Now, number 2 is about how can we have whoever goes or takes or goes to do business on the lake to put on a life jacket. Issues of taxation, issues of I don't know. How do we solve these problems?
Two things. When you're looking at water transport, there's also road transport. Accident on both sides. I don't know whether it'll give me also time to talk about road transport later. Road accident.
Okay, yeah, you can come back.
Another one is about the fishing, which the Kabaka also talked about.
Yes.
But by the way, I've liked Kabaka speech.
Yeah.
We witness on many occasions whereby the law enforcers, the militaries, that has now been formed to guide people at the landing site, people fishing, so that they use the right net, so that they fish the right sizes of fish from the lake. Instead, those who are supposed to give the security to people, to fishermen and women, they have become insecurity to them. You know, when you are beating your own, you don't beat to kill. No, you beat to teach. You beat to give a lesson, and you tell a person why you are being punished, and the punishment must be minimum. We always joke that, please, if you want to punish me, give me a painless punishment. Now, the kind of punishment that these militaries who are deployed at the landing site, that the kind of punishment they give to the fishermen are too much terrible. My cousin from Kyoga ranked me 3 months ago. They were arrested in Nakasongola. They were at Nakasongola police station. I asked him, why were you arrested? That they claim that we are using undersized net. And yet, some of the soldiers are also using the same kind of net to catch fish. And I said, what is that? That is a satire. That is terrible. So I had to go there to rescue my cousin. But the story I got from there was terrible. So basically, the government need to come out clear that if they're reinforcing law, we don't dispute that. Our lake need to continue having fish. The small one need to be kept there. That sizable one can be taken. But again, let the enforcement of the law be done in a smart way. The roles of UPDF is to defend the country. Keep the security of the country. But if they're becoming insecurity, it's terrible. There is a way how you can punish someone and a person realizes that indeed I wrong you.
And
like for us parents.
Do it again.
For us parents, there's a way I can beat my child. Not necessarily even pick a stick. But talking to my children, I said, now, you see, what you have done here is bad, this is terrible, these are the effects, the consequences, we shall lose all this, you will lose your job because you'll finish this. They will understand.
Somebody will understand better.
But if people's legs are broken, hands are broken, what are you doing? You are destroying them the more. They went there to look for survival. So that one need to stop.
Okay.
When you come to water transport, in the space of 2 months, last month and this month, 2 water accidents happened. Boats capsized because of overloading, as you say, and because of poor calculation of the weather forecast, and because of the dark spots in the lake. Now, this simply means that the operation on the water need also to be controlled. The people who are the landing side, the security enforcement landing side, should actually be calculative enough to know what size of load should be a boat carry to cross to the next landing point. Now, if there is bribery, if there is laxity in controlling that, we shall continue to have. Last month, we lost 9 people. This month, about 25 people. Right now, as we talk, others might have happened again. We never know. So it is increasing. And yet, the population that move through water are few. Now, if in only 2 months, less than even 2 months, in about 20 days, 2 water accidents has happened, then there's a problem. There should be a quick solution.
And what are you suggesting?
The restriction must be firm, and the law must take its order. If the kind of the transport mean to cross the water does not meet the standard, must not be allowed to operate. The canoe must not be allowed to operate.
Okay. And who is supposed to enforce that one? Is it again the ADF or the leaders, local leaders? Or?
No, the leadership are there. There's the act, by the way. Transport. Parliament has enacted a law on that, and is properly being implemented. However, the breaches of those laws normally happen because of ill interest of those who are supposed to implement. Someone is given a bribe and allows the ship to go. Well, he knows very well that the charcoal there, the sacks of maize which are there, outweigh the capacity of the ship that should cross the water, and allows people to enter there. They are carrying vehicles there, carrying a lot of things there. That's where the problem comes from. They risk life by picking small bribes. Even those who control the ship and the boat should actually know that they are carrying human beings aboard. So they should respect the life. So basically, it's about the law. Just like on road transport. The number of accidents that we have, I am bringing a bill soon in Parliament, particularly to give laws that restrict passenger buses not to move beyond 10 p.m. in the night.
Okay.
If you know your destination will go beyond 10 p.m., don't leave where you are. If you are going to Kidgum and you want to leave at 9 p.m. in the evening, at 3 p.m. in the evening, and you know by 10 p.m. in the night you would have not reached Kidgum, don't leave Kampala. Leave only at the time where you can reach your final destination before 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
So that from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning, there are cargoes The big lorries and trucks
only
on the road.
Okay. Okay.
Because we have realized most of these road accidents happened because of trucks.
That
You will
sometimes
hear
are
a
parked,
truck got spoiled on the road.
Yeah, on the road. And
yet there is also a law that if a truck or any vehicle break on the road, it must not go beyond 30 minutes before it is pulled away from the road and put at a better parking space. And there are certain vehicles you have been driving, you might have seen them. They got spoiled in the middle of the road, and then the police comes and create another diversion that pass from here. They are the one controlling, instead of putting them away. Meaning that law that does not allow vehicle to get spoiled in the road and stay beyond 30 minutes, it's not being implemented. And where is the weakness? Police. They are causing that. You'll hear a bus was driving at night, do not calculate very well, when I knocked a truck that got spoiled on the road. So that one is coming. And then secondly, there are scenarios whereby a driver of a bus is also eating while driving. He's hungry, he's a human being.
I saw one on the phone recently.
In that bill, I'm trying to put together a situation whereby every passenger vehicle that carry more than 15 people should have 2 drivers.
Why?
So that if one is tired, one wants to eat, one takes off. If one wants to talk on phone, you park, let your colleague do it. Not you being on phone, hello, and you're carrying 50 people. Bye.
Honorable, very interesting. Munafatula bajja kwa tufuna kusimu mu dakika emu kuva kati ja kusobola okuba nti notoyinga kubanga olegera enamba z'essimu ku screen. Before we get some 2 or 3 phone calls, Honorable, because of time, you were talking about PDM briefly. You said that it hasn't really worked the way it's supposed to do. But some areas are saying it has helped them. What is your take on this?
PDM, I mentioned from the onset that PDM was dead on arrival. Yeah, PDM died on arrival. You know, PDM is the same like most of these other government programs. The Ntandikwa, the Miyoga.
That is your area or the entire country?
I will give you my own analysis. Why I'm saying PDM died on arrival? PDM was imposed on people. Even for us members of parliament, we did not debate on PDM. But we have been oriented on how we can help our people get PDM. Full stop. Now, there are 7 pillars.
Debated.
We never debated. We never debated how the PDM should operate. And mind you, PDM was a campaign tool.
Are you sure?
That Mr. Museveni used to get votes by saying, we shall give money to Paris's if they come back. It is good. But you know, after campaign, you need to review how you are going to implement what you have talked about. Now, PDM was supposed to be regionalized.
Where is the problem?
How
because
the PDM,
I want to pick some calls right now. Where is the problem, and what's the solution?
The problem is PDM was supposed to be regionalized because how Kampala people can use PDM is different from how people of Acholi can use PDM.
You're right.
We have land.
You're right.
Instead of giving that 100 million per Paris, whereby we clearly know the people who can benefit from them, the usual loyal who understand how to apply and get the money. The real reason why PDM was brought on board was to remove people from subsistence economy to the money economy. That is the reason. And supposed to help the most vulnerable people to come up. Surprisingly, PDM is helping the elites, those who knows things, those who have something,
that's another problem,
to get more problems, to get more money. The real mothers of ours was nothing in the village. They cannot benefit from PDM. Believe me or not.
Well, let me get some bit of fun. Munafa tulaba nsolo kuba nti kubudde butugenda ku munaffe. Ojja kuba Jan, you finish on that one. Fune ku simu emu 2 gwe kiki ekikoledde amawulire mu wiiki eno kasitoba nga ddala gamba bugambi halo ojja kuba tukuwulira kubanga ye honorable akyagenda maaso kubanga atunyonyola ku nsonga eyo. Essimu ziri ku screen. Kiki ekikoledde amawulire osobola okubanga ogattamu oluzungu n'oluganda kina kisobodde okuba oba oli mu luganda nga tukufuna oba oli mu kisungu nga tukufuna oba oli mu luswayiri nga tukufuna wonna wonna weyita nga tukufuna mu ngeri yonna. So please, number essimu eri screen gamba nti hello kasito gamba nti hello nga tukufuna. So as we wind up, as somebody comes on
So I was telling you about the PDM. Like I moved when we were having training at Parliament. I rose up and I spoke. I told the speaker, I said, Mr. Speaker, before we enroll PDM, can we first analyze what New York has done to our people? By the way, there's in New York, people have forgotten. That money is still there moving with the people. And the people are benefiting are either NRM sympathizers or those who knows how to apply for it.
You as a member of Parliament, how can we make it better? So that, because end of the day, people
Now,
earn.
I was telling you that's supposed to be regionalized. Like in Acholi, I had proposed that give, instead of 100 million paparazzi, give us tractor paparazzi.
Tractor J.
Tractor with all its compartment.
Okay.
Because we have very fertile land.
That is what you need. You need
Someone who want to use his land, the vast land he has, can go and pick the tractor, only put fuel.
Don't.
Because you can never dig 10 acres of land in one season using an anole. But with a tractor, that is a one-day one. And that will help to boost the economy. We remove people of subsistence economy.
Okay, let's get you. Come on, say what's out here. Hello? Hello, Mkulu? Hello? 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 Okay. You're saying.
So I was saying, I'll give you an example from Acholi land. Like for us in the northern part, give us tractor paparazzi. Or give us oxen and ox blood per home, household. That will help more than this money. Everybody will benefit. And you are sure of the impact in the life of people. In Buganda, you grow coffee and tea.
Give them coffee.
Invest in coffee. Give them coffee seedlings. Give them facilitation that can make them grow coffee. You would have helped Masaka and all these other areas. Buganda. In Western Uganda, invest in coffee. In Bugishu, invest in coffee. In Sibey, they have maize and all these other things can grow there well.
You go for that.
So specialization matters. In Kampala, give them cash because they don't have land.
Kandaba munafali kusimu. Eliyo munafali kusimu briefly dachikuseka zando za nyazo kati muzike program ya fena kulwalero. Hello. Kastoba nga okubye simu munafe kenza ku TV yetu kina bulungi nyinyi dala. Kiki ekikolede amawulire mu weekend. All right, in Kampala give them cash. Because
of the nature of Kampala. There are saloon businesses, there are other businesses they can do that with money. They don't have the land. So we can give them cash. So you realize that why I said PDM failed on arrival, it was not calculated well. Most of the money will go on administrative costs. Some of the money will be taken by the people who are already being benefited from other projects, not the real poor people. So that's a big challenge.
I think.
So for this PDM thing to work well, for the impact to be seen, to bring people to the money economy, needed to have been regionalized according to what a particular region can really best do.
This region is doing this, they go for that.
Exactly.
This region doing, they go for that.
Exactly.
Okay, I think it's very.
If you give tractor paparis in Acholi land, after 5 years, you will see the change.
What are you going to do as an MP to make sure that it changes, so that people can gain?
We have been discussing, because now this is beyond an individual thing. It needs a group thing, like we have APG in Acholi. That is Acholi parliamentary group. Then in Lao they have about LPG, Lao parliamentary group. In Buganda they also have Buganda caucus. So we are now talking as caucus. Now for us the caucus of Acholi said, now can we redirect this? Is it late? Now part of the money has been given. Mind you, some of the money for projects has been given to the people even before training them on how to use the money.
You're very right.
There are 7 pillars for that PDM.
Very right.
Now how can you give me the money after me using the money, then you are coming that I want to train you how to use the money I've given you. The money is finished. so wrong calculation.
All right. As we end this show today, your brief comment about 1.3 trillion Uganda shillings is going to go to the Electoral Commission to prepare elections for the president, for the MPs like you, for the youth, for the disabled, for the women. One brief word so we can conclude.
First of all, before I talk about the 2026 election, I want to hint a bit on the LC1 election.
Briefly, because...
Yeah, LC1, their terms of office has expired. And
you give them
we gave them 180 days extension, which is about 6 months.
Were you in Parliament that day?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is about 6 months. And now when you look at all the contestation, you might have watched our debate on that. First of all, we were wondering which law can work backward. You can only extend someone's term before the terms of elapses. Someone is out of office now, I think I'm extending your term. He's out of office. What are you extending?
Even me, I was wondering.
Yeah, but again, all that said and done, the villages cannot be lawless. These LC1s are very fundamental to running of our country. Because first of all, for you to stand surety in court, you need an LC1 letter. Sure. For you to travel with your goods, you need an LC1. So they're very important. Therefore, for society to move a bit, we had to compromise certain angles to ensure, give them this period and organize. Now, when you come to about the 1.3 trillion that was given, vis-a-vis the huge billion that was given to organize LC1 election, part of the reason why LC1 election could not take place was because of exaggeration of it. Okay. The figure for organizing LC1 election was exaggerated by the Election Commission. To an extent that the country cannot finance it. That money is not there. So we told this Election Commission, please, why don't you be a bit simple? Simplify things for us. Come with a minimum budget. We know how this election is done. I remember this, Madam Speaker made a comment that, by the way, if you give 5 million per MP per village to organize the election will be done successfully, not these things you are exaggerating.
We are concluding.
That actually was
your last word to the viewer, because time is up. Time is up.
So basically, I want to say this election which is coming, the roadmap has been launched. At presidential level, we know the winner already, because he will always win. He will not give any opportunity to anyone to win.
The last word to the people.
In any case, nobody organizes election to which he loses.
Okay.
So we know it is going to be hard to win Museveni in any election that he controls. But for members of parliament, we are going to fight to ensure that someone comes back, or we add more other people on board. And for other positions, of course, still, this regime, when they target you, they will come for you fully. We are still not sure, because they might come for you and invest everything.
Last one. Time is up, Honorable.
I want to appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
For this opportunity. I want to appreciate Delta TV management, and basically for giving us always opportunity to come and talk to the people.
All right.
I want to talk to the youth, the young people. Youth Day is coming. Is it on the 18th of this month?
Yeah.
Utilize your period of being a youth very well.
Okay.
Work hard.
Okay.
There's nothing free in this world.
Okay.
Concentrate. Get the right thing. Cheap things are very expensive.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Oneka Denis MP Ketiwe Municipality. Jala kwa bazanyo nyindira mnafe. Abali atulabona ko lwalero abali social media mwe bali nyinyi dala. The team, thank you very much, Emma and also Haman. Tubagamba nti mubeere bulungi mweraba.